Forget what you heard. Yeah, boy!
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Luke.
And on today's episode of Forget What You Heard, we're getting some trade deadline news. It was wild. It was incredible. And we're going to recap week 8 of the NFL season. But before we get into this juicy fruit of an episode, I gotta hear it. You know I do, boys and girls. How you doing, Brother Bear?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to talk. Yeah, man, I had a good time. Had a last good few couple of days. Just enjoying myself and watching sports, man. A lot happening in sports over the last few days.
Yes, indeed. And I hope everyone at home had a happy Halloweeny.
Spooky season.
But let's get into it, man. We have the trade deadline to go over, so all you cavemen out there, rejoice. Luke, can you dive into some of the trades that happened prior to today, which were pretty juicy as well?
Yeah, man, I'd love to. The biggest, I think the most bold one was the Christian McCaffrey one. Carolina, trading him away to San Francisco, and he's already made an impact in this past week. He's looked pretty good past 2 weeks. He looked pretty good, and
fantastic this past week.
Yeah, there was just a lot of opinions on that trade. This isn't gonna be super impactful. This isn't gonna help the Niners. Blah blah blah. But he showed it last week, man. He throws, runs, and catches, man. So he's very valuable. Outside of that, we saw Roquan Smith was traded to the Baltimore Ravens.
That guy bleeds black and purple. Yeah, he is the epitome of a Baltimore Raven linebacker, if you ask me. I love that trade.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. He's just one of those dogs. And I think he's a good fit with Patrick Queen, both super athletic. And it's actually crazy. Roquan Smith leads the NFL in total tackles. I think he has like 83 or something.
Is that surprising to you?
Kind of.
Just because his situation, the Bears?
Yeah, like him holding out in training camp, and he hadn't really been in the news. Wasn't talked about very much. And he's a heck of a player. I think it's a great move for Baltimore, but a little surprised. The next one was Robert Quinn was traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Looks like the Bears are embracing that rebuild, and I think they did a good job, but I think it's also a great move for the Eagles,
Absolutely.
They added some depth on that D-line, and, Robert Quinn last year, showed that he is a very lethal pass rusher, and he showed that he can still play, and it's a good move. What do you think about that one?
I love that move for the Eagles. I think, there's a lot of, I don't want to spoil anything, but the Eagles seem like they're all in. They're ready to go. They're loading up for that Super Bowl run. I was kind of surprised they didn't make the Kareem Hunt move, but Robert Quinn is just to shore up that defense, which is already a heck of a defense. So I think they're shooting for the moon, and I respect it.
Yeah.
He may be older, but it's like that wild card that you've seen with like Von Miller to the Rams. Things like the game changer in a big game when you know that guy's going to get pressure on the quarterback when you need him the most. That's what I love what the Eagles are doing. I respect it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was reading, because I follow a lot of the Eagles on Twitter, social media, and it was the trade kind of reminded them of that Chris Long trade when they met. You remember Chris Long, the defensive end? They brought
from the Rams?
Yeah, I think from the Rams. They traded for him at the deadline, and he was pretty impactful to their Super Bowl run. So I think that's the it kind of brings back that, nostalgia. We made a move like this before in the past, and they're doing it again. And then the last one was James Robinson to the Jets from Jacksonville. Looks like Etienne took his job, kicked him to the door, and he's replacing Breece Hall for the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, it was time for Jacksonville to give over the reins to Etienne. I mean, he's so explosive, as you saw against the Broncos. We'll get more into that later, but it was time. He's undrafted. There wasn't capital in him, for the Jaguars, and give it to the better player. And the Jets had to go out and get a serviceable running back, because Michael Carter may not be that good.
Does the trade make sense for the Jets?
Yes, because, like I said, Michael Carter isn't cutting it, and before Breece Hall went down, the Jets' offense ran through the running game because Zach Wilson's been real bad, and I think it's important that they have some kind of run game to lean on. I mean, it's no Breece Hall, but James Robinson's a good running back. Above average, maybe not good.
Okay. Well, for fantasy purposes, is it a downgrade for James Robinson, or is he still going to be just as impactful as he was in Jacksonville, maybe early on, or is the split work between him and Carter going to be enough to not make him a startable player?
I mean, I think he's a fine flex play, but I think he's just a hit or miss. It depends on the week. Like, for Jacksonville, I never got on that James Robinson bandwagon because he started the season real hot. I just think he's a solid flex play for a lot of bye weeks and stuff. But like I said, I think it's hit or miss week to week with James Robinson for me. I've never been a big James Robinson guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a 7th round pick. And
oh, he was picked?
In the draft?
I thought he was undrafted.
Oh, he was undrafted, wasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Jacksonville didn't have
any ties.
And they got, what did they get in return?
5th or 6th.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. And Etienne is
that guy.
All that he's cracked up to be.
He's that guy for sure. And the last one I skipped over, we'll touch on before today's trades, was Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs, man. It sounded like he gave up on the Giants. Dable was having none of that slacky lack, and he let him go. Chiefs, it makes sense for the Chiefs, man. They seem like one of those organizations that, likes to take those risks on the talented players, no matter what they're doing outside of football. He's a talented player. Hopefully he can, figure out his way in Kansas City.
He's a mythological creature, as I've said before.
The Joker.
I guess, it's a good, bargain for the... Actually, they gave up... What does conditional third-round pick mean? He has to hit a certain amount of...
Yeah, there's probably some sort of, incentive that they have to get to or not get to, or...
It was a third and a fifth, or...
Something like that, yeah.
So do they automatically get the fifth no matter how he performs, and the third if he performs really well?
It could be, or it could be maybe the pick could move up to a 4th or move down to a 6th or something maybe. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, the conditional threw me off, but as far as fantasy goes, everyone kind of freaked out when this happened and went to go pick him up. I looked at him and I thought about it, and I decided to steer clear of Kadarius Toney.
Why is that?
His injury history, it's basically halfway through the season learning Andy Reid's offense. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon if he does. He's a good player, and there's Juju, there's, MVS, there's Travis Kelce. There's a lot in the pecking order already. So I'm not, it's a good stash, I guess, but I ain't got time to wait, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Andy Reid's already kind of came out and said, we're going to take it slow with him. When we make moves for players, we're looking out 2-3 years past. They're looking more towards the future, probably with Toney. Just getting him right, make sure he's healthy, learning the system, and It'll probably be a slow process, but I think once he hits the field, I think he's gonna play. He'll probably start over Sky Moore. I think he's taking Sky Moore's job because he hasn't been very good. But um, I think he's definitely worth the stash, like you said, just because of the upside. And we saw last year that he can create on his own. And having Mahomes, being tied to Patrick Mahomes, um, is a big deal, especially in fantasy.
Speaking of Andy Reid, he was asked what his favorite Halloween candy was, and his quote back was, "Seems like every time I walk past a Mr. Goodbar, he calls me and says, 'Andy, come eat me.'"
Is that a real quote?
It's a real quote. Straight from the sources, Sports Illustrated. So
That sounds like something someone that eats a lot would say.
yeah, when food starts to talk to you, you know you might have an eating issue. But I love how Andy Reid just keeps it real. He knows he's a big guy. He knows he likes to eat, and he just I don't. What is a Mr. Goodbar? Is that peanuts in it? Chocolate? I don't really know what that.
Yeah, it might be. I know it's like
Like a crunch bar?
maybe like a crunch. I know it's yellow with the
Yeah.
red letters. I'm not sure what's in it.
I expected more from Andy Reid, honestly.
I think it's funny though. It's a funny quote because he's just embracing the fact that he likes to eat.
Yeah, I mean, I respect the heck out of Andy Reid. Did you finish the trades prior to today?
I believe I did. Yes.
All right, let's get into today's trade. Probably the most unexpected one was T.J. Hawkinson
Ooh.
from the Detroit Lions traded to a division rival, the Minnesota Vikings.
What are these guys up to, man?
Turns out Irv Smith's out for quite some time. I think 8 to 10 weeks.
Wow.
So I guess they got that news and they ponied up and upgraded at that position. Do you think this is like an all-in move for the Vikings, or just does it improve their offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think T.J. Hawkinson's a heck of a player. It's just at the end of the day, T.J. Hawkinson's just a tight end. You know, like how much can a good tight end really, improve your team? And like Minnesota, like they have bigger needs than going and trading for T.J. Hawkinson. You know, I mean, you're 6-1. You've had a great start. Your offense is fine. I know you lost Irv Smith, but shoot, you gave up a second and a fourth, I think, right, to get him. And I mean, dude, you could have gotten, trade for a corner, maybe even a linebacker. Even though I think trading for a linebacker is probably not the best thing, but I don't know. I don't think it's too much. No, I think it's a good for the Lions.
How much better is T.J. Hawkinson than Irv Smith?
A lot better.
Like if you had a grade Irv Smith 1 out of 10.
Probably 4.5.
What about T.J. Hawkinson?
So a 10 would be like the best tight end in football.
Yeah, that'd be like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews.
I'd probably say like an 8.
Dang, I'd give him a 7.
Or like a 7.
And I'd give Irv Smith about a 3 or 4.
Yeah, like 4 and then maybe 7.
That's quite a bit better, and I agree.
Sorry.
But they don't use. Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right.
They don't use tight ends. Maybe they will now that they have T.J. Hawkinson. It opens up the playbook a little more. I don't know. I'm not really sure. To the next trade, Chase Claypool of the Pittsburgh Steelers traded to the Chicago Bears. A much-needed upgrade at the wide receiver position. And I heard a crazy thing. He's the youngest wide receiver on the Bears roster currently.
Really?
Yeah. Because what's his name? Velus Jones is like
24.
He's like days older than, or younger than, Chase Claypool's days younger than like Velus Jones. What is Darnell Mooney? Wasn't he a rookie last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, he's probably like 25. What about N'Keal Harry?
He's 24 in some odd days. But Chase Claypool is the youngest on the team.
Wow.
It's good for Justin Fields. He's
Yeah.
starting to show, his potential. And I think it's a really good move for the Bears to, see that Justin Fields is learning and ascending and progressing and getting him another weapon. And a really good weapon at that.
Yeah, the Bears have done good. I know trading Roquan Smith, getting a second back, and then using that second to get Claypool, a receiver, probably your most important, your biggest need heading into the trade deadline, and getting a guy like Claypool. Like, we could say what we want about Claypool, like as a person, as a player, whatever. But, like, we can't all knock his potential as the number one target in Chicago. Because he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's shown flashes. And now he's got Justin Fields who can create, hit him on that deep ball. And maybe they can create this really good chemistry and both be franchise players.
The Steelers weren't done with that trade. The Steelers acquired William Jackson from the Commandos.
Not very good.
I mean, he's serviceable. I think he was just sitting out for the Commanders, right?
Yeah.
He's just holding out or something?
Yeah, he requested a trade 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's not really, do you have anything you want to elaborate on with that trade?
More so on the Claypool. So Claypool goes to Chicago. I think obviously that affects Darnell Mooney. I still think he'll be productive. Definitely still worth rostering, but probably doesn't help him out. And then over to the Steelers side, George Pickens, Deontay, and Pat Freiermuth. Those are the three names I think really benefit from Chase Claypool leaving. And hopefully we can see Pickens get up into that 90% snap share, playing most of the downs, and we can see him break out, man. Because George Pickens, man, he's different out there.
Yeah, you said it. I think George Pickens wins the most out of everyone. And I think George Pickens plays a big part in why the Steelers did this.
Yeah.
They know they got a Ferrari in the garage, and they've been driving around a Dodge Caravan for a while. It's time to take, open up the garage door and let the Ferrari get a little run.
Yeah, let's run them out, man. Let's get them, dirt so we actually have to wash it and do something with it.
Caveman rejoice. All right, to the next one. Ooh, this might have been the biggest and baddest of them all. Bradley Chubb of the Denver Broncos traded to the Miami Dolphins.
I like it. I like it for the Dolphins. The Dolphins said, we're actually a good team this year. Let's go in. Let's go get a really good pass rusher. And that's a big need, man. Jalen Phillips out of Miami's shown flashes. Melvin Ingram, kind of an older guy. They needed a Bradley Chubb guy out there in Miami, and good get. And then for the Broncos, it makes sense, get a first round, get a fourth rounder, because, you traded your picks for Russell Wilson. You're going to have to try to recalibrate, get some picks back just in case. And let's not forget, man, Chase Edmonds was snuck right into this deal and is now a Denver Bronco.
Yeah, I think it was a good trade for both sides. The Dolphins had all those picks from 49ers.
Trey Lance trade,
and they ended up getting Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and now Bradley Chubb. I would say they did a good job.
I'm not sure if the Tyreek Hill
counts.
Yeah, because why not? Because they gave up more than just that one pick. They gave up.
But it was part of the package.
Yeah, but it wasn't Tyreek Hill, I ain't going to go along with that.
I'm going with it. Like you said, I think, the Miami Dolphins kind of have, their sights on a playoff run. They needed some pass rush, got Bradley Chubb. Broncos on the other side, they gave up so much for Russell Wilson. They're getting some capital back. I'm a big fan of Chase Edmonds, as are you, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you already know about me, man.
Yeah, Luke really loves Chase Edmonds, and I like that. I like his, the diverse role he kind of plays as a pass catcher, and he's shifty. And we have these plotters, Latavius Murray and Melvin Gordon. We need some of that Chase Edmonds injected into our veins because you know what? Broncos are on the rise.
Where'd Chase Edmonds go to school?
I know this one. You always get me on this one. Like Virginia or something?
Fordham. But they lost Mike Boone. He's on the IR. They kind of need that third down change of pace. Chase Edmonds is that guy. He's got the juice. He can catch. He's a home run hitter. And we'll see, man. It sounds like I mean, what does that backfield look like now, though, with Latavius, Melvin, and now Chase Edmonds? Is there
Let me put it in layman's terms. The Broncos are going to do exactly what the Washington Commanders are doing in their backfield. Latavius equals Brian Robinson. Antonio Gibson equals Melvin Gordon. Chase Edmonds equals J.D. McKissick. Mic drop.
So it'll just be like a three-headed rotation.
Exactly.
Okay.
How do I feel about it? I'm indifferent. We'll see how it goes.
Well, it sounds like Edmonds is signed, right, for another 2 years. Was it 2 years, $12 million? So
I think it was 3 years, $12 million.
So 2 more years after this year. Latavius will be gone. Melvin will be gone.
Him and Javonte would be a nice little duo there. Perfect duo almost.
So long term, yeah, having the bull rusher with Javonte and then sprinkle in a little Chase Edmonds, I like it.
A sweet and sour.
That's a good backfield.
All right, and then Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins. Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, not much for me. To me, it just signifies that Elijah Mitchell will be back after the bye week for the 49ers. And he'll be there behind Christian McCaffrey. They have plenty of running backs. And, Mike McDaniel, the coach of the Dolphins, coming from the Niners, very familiar with Jeff Wilson. Back teamed up with Raheem Mostert, man. They're forming their own Niner backfield.
Yeah, I mean, not much moving the needle for me there. However, this next one. Calvin Ridley. Ring any bells?
I remember that guy.
To the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I like it.
You know, it's funny. The game that he got suspended for was his team, the Atlanta Falcons, to win against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Is that true?
Full circle, baby. I'm talking about circle of life. I'm talking about betting on teams. I'm talking about Calvin Ridley is going to be a Jaguar.
If you can't bet against him, join him. I like it.
Yeah, if you he won that bet too, I'm sure.
I'm sure, man. I'm happy for Calvin, man. It was cool to see him get free, man. Free Calvin Ridley. He didn't do nothing wrong. And I like him on Jacksonville. They could really use Calvin Ridley. I know he's suspended the rest of the year, but, man, he would be a really good fit with Trevor Lawrence. I know they brought in Christian Kirk, but to have that guy on the outside like Calvin Ridley, it's just a good fit, I think, for the Jacksonville Jaguars and Calvin Ridley. I can't wait to see him play next year.
Yeah, but they said that his suspension is, they don't really know how long it is. Did it officially give him 1 year?
Wasn't it? Back in the day?
Yeah, but I think they said, I read somewhere where it's like he'll be suspended at least the 2022.
So they could add on to it?
Yeah, but that seems weird. I'm just going to assume that it's just this year.
He'll be back.
Yeah, man, keep betting on them games while you're out.
Because Jacksonville wouldn't have traded for him if they knew he would be out longer. I think he's just 1 year.
All right, and the Broncos make another move.
Ooh, Denver's out here making some toilets.
Jacob Martin.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of him. Don't know who he is. I'm going to have to do some research.
He was on the Texans.
Explain him to me.
He's on the Texans for
Position.
About 2 years. He plays DN, like outside linebacker, edge.
How tall is he?
He's not a very big guy. He's not like a freak guy, but he has shown flashes. I think he got a few sacks last year. I know he's been with the Jets, I think, this year, and he plays. He's gonna get some playing time, that's for sure. It's just he's nothing special, but he can be a impactful player.
I think that was just a depth move
I think so.
for the Broncos. If we want to go back to that Bradley Chubb trade, they they have Randy Gregory and they have this emerging player named Baron Browning who's still on his rookie contract, and with all those guys it would be hard to have them all on the field at the same time. So I like to see the growth of Baron Browning, and I think maybe it was time. It was hard for me to hear. I didn't want Bradley Chubb to be traded, but I'm working my way through this process and talking myself into liking this trade, and I think I do at the end of the day. Yeah. Where was I going with that, Luke?
I'm not sure. I'm listening though.
Did you understand what I said?
Yeah, I think you're content with the trade with the Broncos.
Did I hit the shark on the head?
I think you hit the lamb on the foot.
Lamb chops.
Right.
Last but least.
No, it's not the least.
Last but least.
I don't think so.
Nyheim Hines of the Indianapolis Colts goes to the Buffalo Bills. That stinks.
Obviously, it's kind of telling how they feel about Cook, maybe even Devin Singletary. I know the Bills have kind of been looking for that running back in the draft in the offseason, and they finally got one at the trade deadline, man. Nyheim Hines, he wasn't really a guy in the trade rumors up to the deadline, but then it really started to heat up with his rumors today. I thought it was an interesting move for the Colts, too. I mean, I guess they really believe in Deion Jackson as the backup there behind Jonathan Taylor.
As do I.
He's a guy I think I would recommend to go pick up in fantasy if he's on the waiver.
Is Jonathan Taylor hurt at the moment?
He's got that ankle sprain he was out with.
I know, but he
back.
played.
He played last week.
But he was gimpy.
Yeah. He's not 100%.
Is there a scenario where they're like, hey, man, just sit out until you're healthy?
There is a scenario. I don't think they do, though. I think he plays. But Nyheim Hines to the Bills, man. Are they going to use him? Is he the guy? Like, we've seen Devin Singletary have those 8-catch games and stuff. Is that going to Nyheim Hines or what?
No. I don't know how they're going to use the 3 running backs. James Cook, Devin Singletary's having a great year. James Cook is better than Nyheim Hines in my opinion. I just don't get it. I think it's like insurance for their long Super Bowl runners. I don't know.
I think it's they don't trust what they have behind Devin Singletary, and he brings a different skill set than Devin Singletary. I think after this year, Hines has 2 more years, so it's kind of a long-term deal too. He's kind of locked up. So maybe they move off Singletary or something within these next 2 years, and I don't know. It makes sense just because of how the offense is orchestrated with Josh Allen. You know, he's going to attempt 40, 50 passes a game, and to have a guy like Nyheim Hines, his pass-catching ability, his explosiveness, it's just a good fit. So I understand it.
I think I'm just salty because I like James Cook.
What are you going to do with him now since he's on your fantasy team?
It's hard for me to just say the D word, drop.
Yeah.
It hurts, man. I've been holding him for so long, hoping for maybe an injury. Maybe they're slowly bringing him up. And I thought after the Green Bay Packers game, he played some, not just garbage time. It was a close game, important drives, 41-yard catch. He was averaging 6 yards a carry or whatever. And then they hit me with this, blindsided me in the back of the head. And so, I might have to drop him. I'll have to, look around at my resources. I have to talk to my advisor, who was sitting across the table from me. You're fired.
Come
You're
on.
hired.
You're fired. You're hired. I just like to take a moment, take a quick break. Just like to say, man, rest in peace to Takeoff.
Rest in peace.
He's a member of the Migos group. Him and Quavo got killed. Got killed this morning in Houston, Texas.
Just Takeoff got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas. Sorry, it sounded like you were saying Quavo and him got killed.
Oh, sorry. No, they're just in the same group together. But it was over a dice game, and it sounds like things got heated, and shots were fired and killed him. Sad day, man. Rest in peace. Prayers to the family. Prayers to Offset and Quavo and his close relatives. Just a tough day, tough situation. Stop the violence.
Yeah, stop the violence. And Takeoff was my personal favorite Migo. And
Me too.
everyone that has anything to say about him said he was the chillest, down to earth. And I also think he was the most talented. And I just wish we put the guns down, man. And, it seemed like he wasn't really involved, but that's allegedly. I don't want to speak too much on the details, but it's just sad. It's just senseless. He's 28 years old. There's no need for this. Prayers to family, friends. Prayers to, everyone affected by this death. Just tragedy in our home city of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, just crazy, man. It was kind of interesting. Yeah, for those who know or don't know, it just seemed like he was a very good guy. Super down to earth, super chill. Didn't really, very positive guy. So rest in peace, man.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that. Giving that pause. I think it was much needed.
Yeah, man. But back to some brighter news, man.
Let's go to the football games.
Yes, sir.
We had a Thursday night game, Luke.
Is this week 8?
It's week 8. We're recapping week 8.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Thursday night game. The Baltimore Ravens 27. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 22. Yo, Lamar Jackson got it going. 238, 2 touchdowns. Hey, Gus Bus, 11 carries, 65 yards. Oh, I didn't know Kenyon did all that. 7 carries, 62 yards. But the story was Mark Andrews getting hurt early. It looked like he was on his way to a big game. But he was replaced by the rookie Isaiah Likely, who ended with 7 targets, 6 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Here we go, Isaiah Likely taking over.
Yeah, I guess for Baltimore, Mark Andrews got off to a quick start. Injury sounds like he'll be okay. Avoided some major injuries. We mentioned some trades at the deadline. I think the Ravens were a team that dropped the ball at the deadline. Didn't make a move for receiver, brought in a 36-year-old Deshaun Jackson. And they thought that was okay, but it's not, man. Bateman's out 6 weeks. Andrews is banged up. Your starting receivers right now are Demarcus Robinson, Devin Duvernay, and James Prochet. Dude, go out there and get you one of them, man. Give up a second rounder for Elijah Moore, man. Do something, right? Elijah Moore would have been a perfect fit. Him and Rashad Bateman with Lamar Jackson moving forward would have been a beautiful thing. They dropped the ball.
Yeah, they're one of the teams that could have used wide receiver help, but I don't think they had the worst, trade deadline of all the teams.
No, they didn't. They got Roquan, but
it's just unfortunate with Rashad, getting hurt. It's just sad. But, they came out with the W. And on the other side of the ball, things are getting real messy. Tom Brady, had a 325 yards, a touchdown, garbage time. Luke, may I remind you? Garbage time. The Bucks' run offense is just atrocious. Leonard Fournette had 24 yards and a touchdown. Rashad White, 4 carries, 19 yards. Mike Evans, 6 catches, 123 yards. Chris Godwin, 6 catches, 75 yards. He started out real hot, Chris Godwin. I thought he was going to go for one of those, 150 yards and a touchdown. Julio Jones, yeah, caught a touchdown, the only touchdown. It's just this team's is just different. It's not the same Bucks. There's something missing. There's something wrong. And I'd love to hear your opinion on what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of mistakes from Tampa we're not really used to. This team just has a lot of work to do on offense and on defense. They kind of shown a lack of effort on defense. Warren Sapp's been calling out players. Just not been able to, bring that type of energy like we've seen in the past with that defense. And then on offense, man, mistakes, drop passes, penalties. Brady looks like he divorced his dad. It's just like like if the worst things could happen to a team, it's like happening to Tampa Bay. There's no luck on their side. Good things aren't coming their way. They can't run the ball. Injuries. They're just getting dropped out of the sky from, someone's butt.
Yeah, like they had all their best guys in the secondary out for this game. And usually, I think that's a big factor in this game, how they couldn't stop. They're not this year. They're not. They'll get a lead or something or need a stop, and they won't get it.
Yeah.
They will not. They have not gotten one big stop this year, and that's a problem. But as far as the offense goes, it's not Brady throwing picks. It's not fumbles. It's the 3 and outs, man. I'm not giving the defense or not sustaining drives. Whenever I keep up with the games, it's a lot of 3 and outs, quick 3 and outs because they throw the ball. They're not establishing a run game. They're not doing short check downs. It's like, and Tom Brady's been off, but it's just it's weird. It's a conundrum. It's an enigma, Luke.
Yeah, like we get back to, it's just not working out. Dude, in a game where Mark Andrews leaves early, their number one receiver's out, they're relying on other guys, and, they're still not able to capitalize on – they're just not able to capitalize. I think you mentioned that. It's just 3 and outs, penalties, sacks. They're just taking what they're given. They're not going out of their way to make something happen, and we'll see, man. They've got a kind of a mini bye week. Playing on Thursday, they're going to have a long week to get ready, but it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of work. They need to get people back. And, I'm still not counting them out, though, especially in that division. I think anything could happen. Hey, but hoity-toity, let's go over the pond.
Ooh, London.
Hey, good job, mate. Fish and chips, Bartaloo.
I see London, I see France, I see
J.C. Jackson underwear.
Interesting.
He's not even on either team. The Broncos and the Jaguars. The Broncos 21 strong points. I think that's the most they scored this season.
It sure is.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars 17, man. As far as the Broncos go, Russ Wilson doing high knees on the plane like a freak toad. He went 252 through the air, a touchdown, a pick. Latavius, 14 carries, 46 yards, a touchdown. Melvin Gordon got in on the ground too. Ooh, the new man, the new myth, the new legend. Greg Dulcich, 4 catches, 87 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 6 catches, 63 yards and a touchdown. KJ Hamler had himself a little big catch. 2 catches, 52 yards. There's life, Luke. There's life.
Yeah, there was a lot riding on this game going over to London. Nathaniel Hackett's job was in jeopardy. I think that was kind of evident. And they got up 10-0. Or Jacksonville went up 10-0. It kind of looked, a little dim for a minute. We were like, man, there's nothing going. We come out third quarter, 98-yard touchdown drive by the Broncos. It was like, okay, they're establishing some things. Greg Dulcich, I know he led the team in receiving, but he was the MVP of this game. 3 catches on that drive for 78 yards, was tackled at the 1-yard line. And he was really good, man. He's showing that he's going to be a good tight end for a long time. And it was just nice to finally see Denver sustain drives. You know, they were finally able to move the chains. And, you know, their defense, you know, held their own. Really good game.
The best part of this game for me as a Broncos fan is seeing Russell Wilson finish a game and get the W. When they needed points, he got the points. I think we've seen it thus far this season that the defense is going to hold their own.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep teams at bay, and the Broncos are always going to be in striking distance. The reason we brought Russ is to cook in that fourth quarter to get that W, and we finally saw it. Light is there, Luke. I'm not just in darkness anymore. I'm seeing the light, and I'm back, and I'm rejuvenated. We'll see how long this lasts. As for the Jaguars, Lawrence, Trevor, 133 yards passing, a touchdown, 2 picks. Travis Etienne, first game as a workhorse. Golly jankers. 24 carries, 156 yards, and a touchdown. That's bonkers. Evan Ingram, 4 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Christian Kirk, 3 catches, 40 yards. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence got the Broncos defense treatment. You know, he got picked twice, but, you know, Travis Etienne showed that he is all that and more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was a star of this game. His first game as a starter, and he's a dosh darn good player. He's a home run hitter. He's one of those guys that's guaranteed to get that 40-yard run in a game. And he was just breaking off run after run, couldn't stop him. You know, 8-9 yard gains. But ultimately, the deciding factor of this game was Russell Wilson finished strong, and Trevor Lawrence worsened as the game went on.
He threw a very, very crucial pick, which the Broncos capitalized on and won the game.
Yeah, and like not only that, there were throws in this game that he missed that, you know, an average Joe could have completed those passes. So something was off, and just throws that he could make in his sleep. He just wasn't hitting it. Maybe Trevor Lawrence isn't that good.
Would you compare Trevor Lawrence to Fat Stanley?
How so?
Fat Stanley or Flat Stanley?
I think his name's Flat Stanley.
What's his problem?
He's sliding under the doors.
He's 2D? Or is he 3D?
Is he that flat?
I don't know, man. Flat Stanley.
He might be 2-dimensional.
I think one of them's Flat Stanley and one of them's Fat Stanley.
Is there an alter one?
Yeah, like a 2D and 3D. Anyways, Broncos win. We move forward. Chugga chugga. Poo poo.
Sure.
Oh, this game is just atrociously bad. The New Orleans Saints, 24. The Las Vegas Raiders, 0. Zip. Zilch. Let's go to the bad team first. Derek David Carr, 101 yards and a pick. Josh Jacobs, 10 carries, 43 yards. Mac Hahn, 7 catches, 64 yards. I'm looking. Where is he? Devontae Adams, 1 catch for 3 yards. Unacceptably bad as far as the Raiders go. That is unacceptable. They got literally curb stomped.
Yeah, they sure did. And the Raiders made a mistake by bringing in Josh McDaniels.
I could have told you that.
He's going to be a one and done. I have a feeling he's not going to make it through to next season. And I also believe that Derek Carr is gone after this season as well.
Where's he going?
Probably like Carolina or Detroit or something.
Yeah, it's unexplainable how bad they played. I don't understand. I mean, Devontae Adams had 5 targets, 1 catch for 3 yards. Like, I don't under what did the like. I didn't watch the game, but how is this even fathomable to Pop Kenner?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the question, man. I mean, big disappointments, and even just the Raiders' season has been a disappointment. I think that's why both Carr and McDaniels are gone, because like the expectations, the moves they made in the offseason, this was a team that was supposed to contend for the AFC West title, and they have been the complete opposite. I mean, this is probably the worst team in the AFC West. And it's crazy to say that with the amount of talent they have, but there's something obviously very wrong with what's going on in Las Vegas. Even with Jacobs showing that he's good, Devontae Adams, something's got to change. And I can tell they're very upset about what's going on out there.
Yes, indeed. Let's go to some, brighter, greener pastures. The Saints. Andy Dalton, 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara, 18 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 9 catches, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This was the Alvin Kamara game, man. It's good to see him back. We know he's one of the most talented running backs. And, I mean, that's the recipe for success. When Alvin Kamara is putting up good numbers, the Saints win, good things happen. That's all you gotta know. That's all you gotta know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially with, Landry and Mike Thomas out, you got to get your best player established. And it's nice, man. They're finally realizing, hey, we got to get Alvin Kamara 10 targets, 18 carries. We got to ride them, and that's how we're going to win games. Andy Dalton's not going to win you no games. Your defense showed up very well in this game, but it's Alvin Kamara only. Ride him. Let him loose, man. Let it happen.
I ain't Bill Cosby, but I like to watch The Cosby Show.
I want to talk to you about the robo quarterback.
Explain.
So I've got 6 things that make up a quarterback, and you get to pick which quarterback you want for those certain things to build your robo quarterback.
Like the optimal quarterback that I would want?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one I'm going to say is leadership.
Leadership. Is this past and present or just present?
Just present.
Leadership. It's a good. Who's like? Can I only pick one quarterback for each category?
You can pick 1 or 2 if you can't really decide.
Not Aaron Rodgers, not Tom Brady, not Russ. Kyler?
I think he would be on the other end of that.
Probably Geno Smith.
Really?
I like his leadership. I like his dog.
Interesting.
Everyone loves Geno. Have you noticed that?
What about arm strength?
Jamarcus Russell.
Dude, current day.
Oh, that's an easy one. Josh Allen.
Running.
Lamar Jackson.
Pocket presence. Awareness.
Trevor Lawrence.
Jeez, and right, you're going to be able to... Accuracy.
Justin Herbert.
I like that. That's a good one. Creativity.
Have you not seen Trevor Lawrence in the pocket? He can navigate in the pocket presence.
I didn't mean it like that. I just, of all the quarterbacks, I wouldn't think.
Who would you pick?
For pocket presence?
Yeah. Kirk Cousins?
Nah. Awareness, probably like Brady or Mahomes.
Lame. That's what everyone's going to say.
Yeah, but
go watch Trevor Lawrence pocket presence.
I'm building the robo quarterback.
Yeah, but you can't pick Patrick Mahomes for every one of them.
No, I didn't.
I'm saving my Patrick Mahomes
Brady.
card. Okay, Brady Bunch.
The last one is creativity.
Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Or Mahomes. Wait, well then I still have Mahomes.
Yeah,
Creativity and Patrick Mahomes, for sure.
I agree with that. But I would probably Brady at pocket presence. Accuracy, I think Herbert was a really good one. I think that's a
Yes.
very underrated aspect of Herbert.
You would pick Lamar Jackson for running.
I would, definitely.
You'd probably build the same quarterback as me. Who? What about for leadership?
You know, I thought about this one. I thought Jalen Hurts was one I kind of thought about too. But I think Derek Carr. And I say that because of like the rug stuff, the Gruden stuff, like what he's been able to like say and overcome it. And he just seems like a good teammate. Like someone like he's very welcoming. He probably invites you over to the house, he takes you out to dinner. And he seems like a very nice guy, honestly. Like Derek Carr was one. Um, what about Matthew Stafford? You think he's a good leader?
Not really.
So probably like Carr, Jalen Hurts.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun to talk about that.
Was my quarterback good?
Yeah, man, you got a little 95 on the Richter.
Thanks, Rick. All right, on to the next game. The Miami Dolphins 31, the Detroit Lions 27. Tua continues, lighting it up. 382 yards, 3 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert, 14 carries, 64 yards. Tyreek Hill, 12 catches, 188 yards. Jalen Waddle, 8 catches, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mike Gesicki, 38 yards and a touchdown. I'm sure you have a lot to say. Tua's, really good. He's a fine player. And with those 2 weapons,
What do you mean I have a lot to say?
you're just really high on Tua. I heard you say something earlier.
Should I say it?
Yeah, if you got chest on your hair.
Unfortunately, I can say it and still have chest on my hair. But I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it. Tua Tagovailoa is what we all expected Justin Herbert to be. He was drafted before Justin Herbert, if I believe correctly. We all counted him out. We said Herbert was the pick. Brian Flores wanted Herbert over Tua. But now look at him. Now look at Tua. You give him some weapons. He's out here throwing 300 plus, multiple touchdowns, 138 QBR. He's out here looking like Duke Dazzard. And Tua's good. I don't think that's even a question anymore. He was dominant in this game. Tyreek Hill's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's record. Jalen Waddle has had some huge games. And then Gesicki as well. He's got all the formula to succeed. Shout out Tua.
Yeah, shout out Tua. I agree. I think he's taken too much grief. I don't know if I'll go as far as to say Justin Herbert still has time.
I said it, man.
I respect it. I love what Mike McDaniel's done with Tua and with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill just puts up mad numbers, and I think he's gonna break. Wait, what did you say about Calvin Johnson earlier?
He's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's receiving yard record.
I think he's going to break it by a lot.
Really? You actually think so?
Yeah, if Tua is healthy, even with Teddy Bridgewater, I think Tyreek Hill is just kind of like what do you call him? A cheat code.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's talking about how like the Chiefs are better without Tyreek Hill, blah blah blah. But yeah, Tyreek Hill is better without Mahomes. It goes both ways. Just saying.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're both fine without each other.
Interesting.
Let's go to the Lions. Jared Goff, 321 yards, a touchdown. Jamal Williams, 10 carries, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hawkinson, traded, 3 catches, 80 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 69 yards. DeAndre Swift had a touchdown. Dan Campbell said that DeAndre Swift got used too much.
Really?
Yes.
Because he's hurt?
I don't know. Because he's coming back from injury, but I don't know what that really means. It's kind of weird to say.
They kind of have a weird relationship, I feel like.
I think Dan Campbell is such a man's man that he sees DeAndre Swift as a brittle butterfly. He's like, he's just a baby boy. We gotta get, like, he's kind of doing backhanded compliments to get him pumped up.
I could see that.
It's just strange, but in my opinion, the better team won. I think the Lions were winning most of this game.
Yeah, they were winning. They were up by like 2 scores or something, but they didn't score a point in the second half.
Yeah, so better team won.
For the Lions, so with Hawkinson gone, that means a lot of St. Brown, right? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think they brought in a replacement tight end. Maybe more Swift.
Yeah, I mean, there's a boost for both. I don't even know if they have. Who's it? Do you know their backup tight end?
I don't know. I kept seeing that B-Right guy 2 weeks ago.
Tony Hinchcliffe?
I'm not too sure who they have, honestly. No big names.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift if he gets a full workload again.
Go trade for both of them.
Hey, trade this.
I'll trade you, man. I'll go get a different partner.
Hey, watch it, bub. Next game, the Philadelphia Eagles 35, the Pittsburgh Steelers 13.
Where's Lionel Hollins?
Ooh, the Lions leads tonight.
Let's get Aaron to sing a little bit for us.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in the rock and stroll. Kenny Pickett.
Thank you.
191 yards and a pick.
Pretty good at it.
Jaylen Warren, the better running back in Pittsburgh. 6 carries, 50 yards. Where's Najee? 8 carries, 32 yards.
He said it, not me.
The Muth, 4 catches, 57 yards. Chase Claypool, traded. 4 catches, 45 yards. Deontay Johnson, 5 catches, 35 yards. George Pickens, zilch.
Yeah, man, we have one of them Keystone State battles.
Is that what it's called?
It sure is, man. Pennsylvania. I tell you what, though, man, that secondary that the Steelers have going on over there, horrendous, awful, ungodly, terrible, horrific, poop toilet, dog
That's
water.
why they got William Jacks.
That ain't gonna help, man. They got exposed, and didn't take long. It actually, a lot of big plays, a lot of big touchdown. Jalen Hurts said, "No mercy."
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was watching the highlights, and Jalen Hurts had some incredible throws. The one where A.J. Brown was running down the right sideline into the end zone, covered by 2 guys, and he put it right in the breadbasket. Lofted it perfectly, just perfect trajectory. I think he is a fantastic.
Oh, here we go.
He looks fantastic.
It's just crazy how good he's gotten week to week. Like, it seems like every week he just gets better and better. I mean, salute the work that he's put in, and I mean, yeah, those throws were crazy. I mean, that was something we hadn't really seen out of Jalen in the NFL, but for all those that counted him out, look at you now.
Hey, let's talk about him.
Caught you with his pants down.
285 yards and 4 touchdowns for Jalen Hurts, but Gardner Minshew got in.
He did, didn't he?
1 completion for 23 yards. Jalen better watch his butt. Miles Sanders, 9 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Interesting. A.J. Brown, man, 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zach Pascal had a long touchdown. He had 57 yards. The Eagles just look like a well-oiled machine, but boy, do I hate Pennsylvania. I hate the Keystone State. I hate the city of Philly because the Astros are playing Philadelphia Phillies, and they're going down tonight. Just got a report that a Philadelphia pizzeria denied the service of the Houston Astros when they ordered some hoagies and some pizza and some Philly cheesesteaks before the game. And I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm going to find out the name and I'm going to out him on this podcast.
Okay, I'm for that too.
Pete's Pizza Pies.
But that's, I mean,
That's illegal to turn down service.
No, I understand, but if the Yankees came to Houston and I found out that they turned them down, I wouldn't. I'd be happy they did, I think.
No, because Philadelphia is mean people.
Maybe so. Yeah, I mean, as an Astros fan, I don't like it, but we'll just beat them, man. Actions speak louder than words, man. So we just let them have it.
Luke, on the top of your head, give me the best pizzeria name for a restaurant.
Probably Redstones.
Yes. That was pretty good. Redstones.
Redstone?
Redstone Pizzeria?
Yeah. Come on, you said off the top of the head. That was pretty good.
Mine would be Pepperoni's Perry's Pies.
Yours would be like Long Leg Head Jr.
Would you go to a place called Pepperoni Perry's Pies?
I absolutely wouldn't.
What about a place called CC's?
Nah, dude, I can't handle that anymore.
Dude, we went there and things were said and things were eaten there.
That was like the worst stomach pain I've had in a long time.
Me and Luke both had to take a moment to try to digest what kind of pizza they had going on at CC's.
Yeah, man, I had to take a box for the leftovers, but not for the pizza before what's ever coming out of that rear end.
I couldn't make it to the toilet, so I used the litter box.
Yeah, you probably did it in the booth.
But I couldn't even cover it. It was so patty-like.
You probably just used the booth, man.
Hey, put me in the booth and I'll give you a couple 16 bars. You want to hear one?
I just want to mention.
Go ahead.
Personally, I had Jalen Hurts in fantasy this week. He's my starting quarterback. And I got some bad news. The guy I was playing against had A.J. Brown. So all the points that I was getting from Hurts throwing these beautiful touchdowns were going to my opponent.
You hate to see it, don't you? Fantasy is a cruel, just sinister, disgusting game that for some reason we play.
Yeah, and it sucks because I even knew going into the game, A.J. Brown was about to go nuclear. And it just watching it happen is just okay. I was already mentally prepared, so it didn't hurt as bad. But still, it's just to go down like that is tough. But shout out to the Eagles. Hurts did good. And I'm looking forward to seeing them play on Thursday against the Houston Texans.
Battle Red.
Yeah, I'm going to get red.
Bulls on parade. Dano.
I'm going to try to fit in my small Brian Westbrook jersey.
You're going to be the cutest one at the game. You could probably get on the Jumbotron.
I'd have my bottom lip sticking out of that shirt, dude.
What if they put you on a kiss cam with another man? Would you partake or would you refuse service?
I definitely wouldn't partake. But I would definitely try to think of something funny to do at the time.
Yeah, I've always, I always say I'm going to do a certain, try to find the camera that's pointing at me and stare straight at it, sinisterly, so people think, this guy's got a few screws loose. But I feel like during that time I'd get bashful and blush and, try to hide.
Maybe I could give him, a wet willy or something. Embarrass him.
Yeah, but what if he tries to kiss you?
I'll get a fistful of fist.
I like that, man. You got to keep your...
I'll get physical, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think Eagles fans would take kindly to seeing two Eagles fans, embracing on the kiss cam.
Nah,
I think you would be, exiled as an Eagles fan.
I probably won't wear any Eagles gear. I'll just wear something casual.
You should wear your Brian Westbrook jersey, and you know how it's real little, so it's like a crop top, and draw the Liberty Bell on your belly.
No,
you for sure.
Someone would be touching me.
Yeah.
They try to ring that bell.
They let Freedom ring and start shaking your belly.
And then I'll ring them in the head, man.
Just a thought, man. You'd definitely make the Jumbotron.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You're definitely creative with that one.
We'll work on it. All right, on to the next game. The New England Patriots 22, the New York Jets 17. Yo, Mac Attack's back in the saddle. 194 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Hey, Roland Ramondre Stevenson, 16 carries, 71 yards. Damian Harris had 11 carries for 37. Excuse me. Ramondre Stevenson was the leading receiver in terms of yards with 7 catches, 72 yards. Jacoby Myers, 9 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. It's good to see that they chose Mac. They have a lot invested in him. They get the win. Ramondre looks like he's taking over that backfield and taking over the James White role. And then he's doing a very good job at it as well. And I think Jacoby Myers is emerging as that guy on the Patriots that you can trust in fantasy.
Yeah, man, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, Stevenson has been outstanding. He's kind of like their top weapon on offense, being able to be their ground guy and also get those 8 targets. And he's been really good at that. Jacoby Myers, yeah, he's kind of been the top weapon on the outside, 12 targets. He's kind of been, every week that he's played, he's been really good. And I agree with what you said about that. Mac Jones, underwhelming, continues to make mistakes. I didn't agree with what they did last week, rotating the 2 quarterbacks. But I don't know. He probably doesn't have a long leash with Bailey Zappi on there, man.
Let's go to the Jets. Zach Wilson, 355 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Michael Carter, 7 carries, 26 yards. The newly acquired James Robinson, 5 carries, 17 yards. Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 115 yards. Tyler Conklin, 6 catches, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hey, you forget about this guy, Denzel Mims. 2 catches, 76 yards, and a 63-yarder on your head. This is the problem with Zach Wilson. When they let him throw it around the yard, yeah, his stats are going to look good. But you look over to that turnover category, he's got 3 big ones. 3 costly ones in a close game where they lost by 5. That's just who he is. That's the risk you take with letting Zach Wilson, quote unquote, loose. Because when they had Breece Hall, he barely threw 20 passes, and they were winning games. He wasn't turning the ball over, but they don't have Breece Hall anymore, so they're unleashing him, and it leads to 3 turnovers and a loss.
Yeah, he was bad in this game. It kind of seems like Belichick kind of has his, knows where to get him. A lot of turnovers. Can't rely on Breece Hall no more. But what I do like to see out of Zach Wilson, aside from the 48% completion percentage, was the 8.7 yards per attempt. I like that he's trying to push the ball downfield. He's probably doing too much, but still, looking at the receivers, Garrett Wilson averaged 19 yards a catch, Conklin 13 yards a catch, Mims 38, Carter 8.8, Azuma had a 27-yard catch. Like, it's nice to see that he's, pushing the ball, which it will result in turnovers, but looking for that big play is fun and can result in some big weeks.
On to the next. The Dallas Cowboys 49, the Chicago Bears 29. For the Bears, Justin Fields 151 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert 16 carries, 99 yards, a touchdown. Justin Fields 60 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Darnell Mooney 5 catches, 70 yards. N'Keal Harry had a touchdown. Cole Kmet had a touchdown. But it wasn't enough. They added Chase Claypool. We'll see how that goes. Khalil Herbert, greater than David Montgomery.
Yeah, for sure. I normally don't like watching either of these two teams, but this game ended up being a pretty fun game. It kind of ended up as a blowout, but it was a fun game to watch. Justin Fields showed flashes in this game. Finally got him a weapon. Just a lot of offense. A lot of touchdown scoring, fun to watch. Uh, Interested to see how Claypool fits in this offense as well. Darnell Mooney's finally getting it going. And, let's see what the Bears can do. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, 21 of 27, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Ezekiel Elliott was out this game. In his absence, Tony Pollard, TP, RB1, 14 carries, 131 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's the guy right there. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Dalton Schultz, 6 catches, 74 yards. Michael Gallup, 4 catches, 49. But look what happens when the Cowboys start the better running back, start the better player. They score 49 points. Tony Pollard rushes 3 touchdowns. Zeke's never ran for 3 touchdowns in his entire career. Tony's already done it in front of him. Easy victory. I can't wait for Tony Pollard to be the starting running back in 2023 because I'm going to be targeting him 2nd round fantasy football.
Stop in the name of love before you break my fart.
They call me Buffoon Brand.
Ezekiel Elliott is essential to this offense
How
to
much
make
you
a
wanna bet?
big playoff run. He's the plotter. He's the short. He's going to punish the defense.
How much you want
Tony
to bet?
Pollard is the more elusive scat back. He's great. We saw it here.
How much you
I'm
want to bet?
saying in the playoffs, Zeke Elliott will be essential to the Cowboys.
How much you want to bet?
How do we justify this bet? How do
Because
we?
We look at last week, we see 49 points. We see the Cowboys are much better with Tony Pollard as a starter. Ezekiel Elliott is sluggish. Why not give those carries to Tony Pollard? He can bust them. He can score 3 touchdowns. He can average 9 yards a carry. He can do things that Zeke cannot do. Zeke is holding the Cowboys back. We saw that firsthand last week. Tony Pollard is the guy.
You're not hearing me, bro. Playoffs. Game slows down. Defenses crack down. Zeke is the punisher, and having Zeke punish for, a couple drives, tire out that, that he's going to hit some linemen hard, and you finesse Tony Pollard in. It's a good duo. It can't just be TP every play. It's got to be both. It's a
TP.
duo. It gets cold during the playoffs. It's essential to have that big guy that's going to, pound that ball.
Okay, it's essential to get Zeke 10 carries.
Thank you.
I agree with that.
Don't just exile him to the bear den.
Give him 10, Tony Pollard 15. You'll win games.
Luke, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What would happen if we lowered you into
Golly.
a burrow where a hibernating bear was in the midst of hibernation? What would happen to you after 48 hours?
So I couldn't leave. I'd be stuck in there for 48.
We'd have to lower you in and seal the opening.
Well, if he's hibernating, I just wouldn't leave him alone, right? I wouldn't try to wake him. I'd probably learn his tendencies, the way he sleeps, and maybe try to mimic it for a little bit.
For some reason, whenever I picture going back in after 48 hours, you and the bear are cuddling. It's a very cute thing, and he thinks you're like a cub because he hasn't opened his eyes, and you tend to smell like a bear. So I think he would just, embrace you and treat you like his cub, and it would be like a cute little picture we could get.
I mean, yeah, I'd probably be cold for a little bit, and I'd definitely welcome a little cuddle from a bear like that.
Do you think you would cuddle him like you would be on top of his belly, or would you be under his arms?
Under his arms, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's what I was hoping. That's what I was envisioning.
Wherever
like
he
you-
needs me to be,
Yeah.
I'm going to be there for him.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I just, I had that picture in my mind. I wanted to get it off my chest.
Unless I can use him as like a pillow. Like his belly as a pillow.
Yeah, I thought you'd be like curled up and curled up like a cat on his belly.
And he's just like, puts his arm around me.
Yeah, like he's like, hey, there's my little cublet.
I'd be cool with that, I think.
It'd probably be real gnarly in there and real stinky. Next game.
To keep him clenched.
The Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings.
Sure.
Kyler Murray. Hey, the new COD's out. Did you get the update? P90X, Red Tiger, Blue Tiger, Headshot, Juggernaut, Martyrdom.
I don't think those are around anymore, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, he lost the game because he spent a little too many hours on that game. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Pretty good game.
Leading rusher also 6 carries, 36 yards for Kyler. Oh, DeAndre, he's too old. He stinks. He's washed. 12 catches, 159 yards, a touchdown. Hey, Daleron, you got something for me? 7 catches, 92 yards, a touchdown. Hey, Zach Ertz, too old. 4 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown.
Tell you what, man, whatever PEDs Hopkins was on, I'm going to need some.
Yeah, well, people act like he's old. He's 30.
That's normally when they start falling off. Julio, AJ Green.
Julio's got to be, maybe. But Julio took a pounding in Atlanta.
No, I don't think it's not for everyone, but I think that's kind of like where the range of the age where they start declining. Hop is not the case.
They call him Nuke for a reason.
I'll tell you what, man, we might be involved at some point. That Rondale Moore looked very good, man.
Yeah, he looks like a waiver, a hot commodity on the waivers if he's available, but he's not.
No, he
in
shouldn't
our
be.
league of record.
He shouldn't be.
Robbie Anderson had 3 targets and didn't do anything. I think the Cardinals will look a lot different with Hollywood Brown and like Rondale getting this exposure. I think they could be kind of dangerous. Offensively, I think their defense is terrible, and I think Cliff Kingsbury is terrible. But I like what they got going on, in terms of weapons, and I like Eno. But their offensive line isn't very good. But I mean, I guess there's some light at the end of the tunnel for them Cardinal boys.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think once they get Hollywood back, I think this offense will look different, definitely more exciting, putting up more points, and potentially winning games.
Do you think that when a Cardinal sees a Blue Jay in the wild, it's like a Crip and a Blood seeing each other on the streets?
Yeah, there's a lot of friction between the two. I believe that.
And if they were to mate, would it be a Black Jay?
It'd be purple.
Oh, purple.
You ever see those ones that kind of do look like Blue Jays, but they're a little off, a little darker? Probably one of them.
But what loyalty do they claim, a Blue Jay or a Cardinal?
Well, it's a good question. I guess you can kind of fit in with both. You maybe not be welcomed as much with the Cardinals, also not welcomed as well with the Blue Jays. So they probably go and hang out with the Crows.
I actually heard one of those offspring from a Cardinal and a Blue Jay sing a bird song, and it was translated that said, "Not red enough for the Cardinals and not blue enough for the Jays."
It's pretty good, man. That's wholesome.
It was sad because he was kind of like a melancholy tone to it.
I hope he's doing well.
I hope so too, man.
You're welcome in our house, man.
Yeah, you can come sleep in the backyard with the bird bath on him. Just be careful, Luke uses the same one.
There's also a dog.
There ain't a lot of room. There ain't a lot of room in there.
Nah, you're going to have to find a corner somewhere, man. I got the other 3.
All right, for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dalvin, dang, they did it. They did it on the ground. 20 carries, 111 yards, a touchdown. Madison had a touchdown, 40 yards and a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, use them legs, boys, stretch them legs, touchdown.
That run was crazy. Very unexpected.
Justin Jefferson, 6 catches, 98 yards. Thielen, 6 catches, 67 yards. KJ Osborne, touchdown. And Munt, a touchdown. Justin Jefferson hasn't had a touchdown since week 1.
Is that true?
Very.
Wow. Wow. I did not know that. That's the craziest set I've heard all year, I think.
He's not worth it.
Not worth what?
He ain't worth the pick.
That's crazy, man. So he has, 2 touchdowns total?
I think so.
Dang, that's crazy.
He
Wow.
seemed a little shocked.
Yeah.
So was I. I could not believe it. Because he's been fine. Like, fantasy-wise, he hasn't been bad.
Dang, yeah, that is absolutely wild, actually. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, cool. TJ Hawkinson, where does he fit in this offense? Is he a playmaker? Was he making plays?
I think he adds another dimension, but like you said when we were talking about the trade, they could have used it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much they're going to utilize Hawkinson, I don't know. They have so many weapons and stuff, but I mean it's an upgrade.
Yeah, definitely. It's just the Vikings have always kind of been like, Jefferson, Thielen, Cook has always kind of been like their three, and then they'll always be like that fourth guy who will very inconsistent, but he'll have his weeks. So it'll be interesting where Hawkinson will fit in this. Maybe he won't be very relevant. Who knows?
I thought it was weird that Madison was never really mentioned in trade talks.
He wasn't.
But didn't he? They talked about trade talks with Madison. He requested a trade, didn't he?
Before the season.
Oh, that's so weird that he was never mentioned.
I
after that.
did get a report probably a week ago that teams were asking, but I guess they turned him down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean this will be his job soon enough.
We'll see, man. He's been really good. I mean, averaging 8 yards a carry in this game, scored a touchdown. You never know with Dalvin. Dalvin's a good player, but he does, tend to get injured sometimes.
Yes, sir. Let's go to the next game. Crazy game between two teams that aren't that great. I mean, Carolina should have won this game. Missed extra point, missed a field goal in overtime. I'm guessing that kicker Pinero or whatever.
Yeah.
He should be cut immediately. P.J. Walker, 317 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Luke said he had the best throw he's ever seen in his entire life.
No, best throw this season was P.J. Walker to D.J. Moore to tie the game.
Dude, he launched that.
It's like 70 yards. Perfect. Over two defenders.
Right where it needed to be. Like, kind of put it in the middle of the field, like to the right of DJ Moore.
Yeah, and he was like rolling to his left. Oh, man, it's such a beautiful play. Check it out if you haven't.
Deontay Foreman, goodness gracious. 26 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
26 carries? Man, okay.
Chuba wasn't playing, though.
I didn't know that.
DJ Moore, 6 catches, 152 yards, and a touchdown. Terrace Marshall's been a talk around the town on the waivers. 9 targets, 4 catches, 87 yards. Luke, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Does Terrace Marshall butter your nose?
Man, it's hard to say he does, but it's hard to say he doesn't, man, because he's an LSU product. He fell into like the 3rd or 4th round in the draft, but he was a guy we talked about going first round. He's very talented. He's finally getting an opportunity, but it's just like this is like, his 2nd or 3rd year. We haven't really seen him do anything, make the field. We've seen guys play over him that we were shocked about. But to see him finally, get play, see 9 targets, like Terrace Marshall is a guy that's very talented. And so if he can continue to see these looks, he's going to be putting up points, in my opinion. So maybe he could be a stash in some deeper leagues, definitely. But he's definitely a name to look out for. I would agree.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Matt Rule has something to do with how bad this offense was and Terrace Marshall being in the doghouse. Because the last 2 games, the Panthers, they won, and now they put up 34 points. I think it's amazing how bad Matt Rule is.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. He held him back.
The Falcons, Marcus Mariota, 253 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 picks. Huntley, 16 carries, 91 yards. Mariota, 6 carries, 43 yards. Tyler Algier, 14 carries, 39 yards. Kyle Pitts, baby, 5 catches, 80 yards, a touchdown. Demir Bird, 67 yards and a touchdown. And Algier, who hadn't really been used in the passing game at all since he's took over. Had 3 catches, 46 yards, and a touchdown. And the Falcons really just got lucky in this game, held on for dear life, and let the Panthers make crucial mistakes. And they won it at the end. They waited it out.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's seeing Kyle Pitts. He being back. He had some big catches, some 5 for 80 and a touchdown. Finally got in that end zone. It's a guy who had to get involved every week. He's your best player. And I don't really like the Falcons that much. Kind of boring, but they're probably the better team. They played a good game. It was a fun game, like you said. There's not too much to get out of Atlanta, but they could win more games than we expected this year. Which is interesting.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it was a good game, but a bad game at the same time. Let's go to the worst game of all time.
I already know. Can I guess it?
Yeah, just guess it, please.
Texans Titans.
Yeah, the AFC South. Here we go again. The Tennessee Titans win 17-10. Malik Willis makes his first career start. He threw 10 passes for 55 yards and a pick. Man, Derek King Henry against the Texans. I think he's had 4 straight 200-yard games or something. Is it 5?
I don't know. He always does it, though.
Why do the Texans?
Because they stink.
32 carries, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ooh. Hilliard had 8 carries, 83 yards. It looks like they don't trust Malik Willis at all. It just pounded the ball, and the Texans could not do anything about it. For the Texans, Davis Mills, 152 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Dameon Pierce, 15 carries, 35 yards. Brandon Cooks, 4 catches, 73 yards. Dameon Pierce had a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I think, current day Terry Bradshaw could have played quarterback for the Titans, and they still would have won this game. It doesn't matter. Derrick Henry in the backfield. Henry versus the Texans. Game over. Don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, and it seems like there's some beef as far as Brandon Cooks not getting traded. I don't know what that tweet means. Does it mean he asked for a trade, they didn't trade it, and that's why they're messing with his career?
I believe so, man. Yeah.
So what is he? I wonder what happens going forward with him.
I'm just surprised they didn't trade Brandon Cooks. I thought he was for sure gone. The tweet, for those that haven't seen, Brandon Cooks tweeted out, "Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long. Those days are done. Crossed the line with playing with my career."
Yeah.
So maybe they had told him, "Hey, we'll trade you. We're going to find the right spot for you, everything." And it didn't happen. So I guess he took it personal. He feels they're playing with his career. And, let's not do that, man. If something's not working out, let's make sure we communicate. Let them know, hey, this is what's going down. It's not going to happen the way we want it to happen. And, let's smooth things out, man. It's good to be on good terms with your fellow human beings.
I mean, I'd be angry too.
Hey, come on, man. No anger.
Man, if you got Davis Mills throwing them turd balls at you all game.
If you're getting paid $18 million next year, I don't think you would mind.
I'm trying to win the chip. I'm trying to get a ring.
Brandon Cooks, if he would have gotten traded, would have been the most traded player in NFL history.
Let's get him that ring.
Let's move. Man, I would have sent him to, Turks and Caicos.
That's a great place to go, I'm sure.
I believe it.
One time I was in my Turks and Caicos with my waders on.
Okay.
And a wave swept me under, and I was my waders were filled with water, and I was literally walking on the seafloor. Just it was like I was walking on land, but I was on the seafloor, and it was an incredibly strange experience.
Did you feel like a crab?
Can you imagine going for a walk at the bottom of the ocean?
How deep am I under?
About 13
13 feet?
yards.
Oh, I could handle that. Yeah, it'd be amazing.
You have to watch your back in the ocean, though. That's why I didn't like walking.
And the sea floor. To be fair, I mean, what are you stepping on? You run into some coral reefs. You get tagged by one of them little fish at the bottom. You never know.
Yeah, it was a strange experience because I don't remember surfacing. I woke up and David Hasselhoff was beating on my chest, giving me mouth to mouth.
Sounds like you got something out of a movie, man.
It was incredible, man. I've seen Jaws 3 times.
Tell you what, man, I'll wear it out.
What do you wear out?
I'm thinking about wearing some cargos, maybe some camo shorts and a wife beater.
Where you headed?
Yeah, probably to the locals. Walmart, probably. I'd fit right in.
Yes, with the Walmartians.
Packers offered a second for Chase Claypool, and they said no.
That ain't it. Wait, didn't the Bears offer a second?
Yeah, second and a fifth or something.
But the Bears are better than the Packers.
Not sure. I'm not sure.
The Bears have a better pick.
The Bears gave them the Ravens second round pick. Dude, I don't know. I don't know politics. I'm just here to talk football.
That's very interesting to me. There must be some kind of beef around there.
There's probably beef.
Well, the Bears are in that division.
Which one?
They're in the Packers division.
Yep.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm thinking different.
The Steelers aren't, though.
Oh, sorry, I got it wrong.
Next game, Washington Commanders versus the Colts. We saw Heineke get another start in this one. 23 of 31, 279 yards, a touchdown and a pick, 29 yards rushing and a touchdown as well. Brian Robinson, 8 carries, 20 yards. Antonio Gibson, 7 carries, 19. Terry McLaurin continues to show up big because he's big time. 6 catches, 113 yards. Oh, Antonio Gibson through the air, 7 catches, 58 yards and a tutty. 3 catches for 50 yards for Curtis Samuel. That's what they got going on in Washington.
Hey, can you
17-16 Washington. Great game, very good ending.
Bad game.
No, it was good, man. Clutch up. Tyler Heineke, clutch up. Terry McLaurin had a great catch on Stephon Gilmore.
Hey, it's fantasy time with Aaron.
Go ahead.
What do we do about this backfield in Washington?
See, Washington's not a team you want to be associated with for fantasy football.
Let's do a hypothetical. Let's say you have 2 of the running backs on the Commanders.
Okay.
Which one is more juicy?
I think after seeing Antonio Gibson catch 7 passes this last week, I think that's more valuable. Because, yeah, he didn't do much on the ground, but if he's getting that, 7 target, 6 target games, he's extremely dangerous. And so if he's able to get that amount of targets, he's more valuable to me than Brian Robinson or J.D. McKissick, definitely. If that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
And for the Colts, Matt Ryan benched. Career over. In comes Sam Ehlinger, UT, shout out the Longhorns. 17 of 23, 201 yards. Jonathan Taylor back, 16 carries, 76 yards. He also lost a fumble. Naeem Hines had a rushing touchdown. No longer a part of the team. Alec Pierce led the team in receiving, 3 catches, 65 yards. Michael Pittman, 7 catches, 53. And Paris Campbell still doing his thing, 2 catches, 43.
Ixner, and what that mean? It means Chameleon is the king of the king.
It seemed like the Colts had this game in the bag, up 16-7 in the fourth quarter. But they can't have good things this year in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor not being the same, injuries, defense underwhelming. Matt Ryan looking like, Big Ben in his late career. But, Jonathan Taylor had a big fumble. Michael Pittman had some drops. Can't happen. Other teams will capitalize. But Sam Ehlinger, he needs to run a little more. I think that's his strong suit. I know he only had 23 pass attempts. Get him out of that pocket. He's a runner. Man, that's what he does.
Hey, man, you need a break? Take a breath, bub.
No, man, we're going all the way in.
This game was not a good game.
It was at the end, definitely.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the ending just in general wasn't good football.
Oh, we don't play good football, man.
But yeah, Ellinger's.
It's
He's got a lot to learn. He's got potential. Jonathan Taylor's gimpy. I just don't know the outlook of the wide receiver. Do you feel comfortable with Michael Pittman moving forward?
not really, no. Not as I once was, man. I believed in him fully. I believed he'd be a top 10 receiver. No longer feel that way. I still think he could finish like top 20, top 24, like a receiver 2. But he's not that, he's not going to be that huge. He's not going to have those huge weeks, I don't think, anymore. But he's going to be consistently targeted. And I think that'll be enough to get him as a receiver 2.
As much as you were entrenched with Michael Pittman, I was entrenched in quicksand.
So you sank real quick, huh?
But do you know what happens when you're fully submerged in quicksand?
Do you drown?
There's a bottom.
There is?
You know where you go?
No. Istanbul?
The center of the earth.
There is no center of the earth.
It's a portal. It's not just quicksand.
Where does it lead you to?
The center of the earth.
No, where does the center of the earth lead you to?
You ever seen Godzilla?
Lava?
Godzilla?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
That's where you go.
Where's that, Hollow Earth?
Does everything flip so birds are ground creatures and
Where?
fish are birds?
Underwater?
No, in the center of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's reversed so birds are under the water?
No, it's not water like that. It's different.
Describe it to me.
So, like, say you're on Earth, right? It's a globe, right? You go to the North Pole. You fly in the North Pole. It's a big hole. So everything on the inside of our Earth is the outside of theirs. It's like you go into the hole, you see the trees, you see grass, you see the land. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man. It's just as you would picture it.
All right, let's go to the next game. The Seattle Seahawks 27, the New York Giants 13. Danny Jones, he was a hot commodity. 176 yards passing, no touchdowns, no picks. Saquon Barkley, 20 carries, 53 yards, a touchdown. Danny Jones, the reason he was a hot commodity, 6 carries, 20 yards. Darius Slayton, 5 catches, 66 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, 2 catches, 15. Not much going on there. Richie James lost them this game because he fumbled 2 punts when they were in striking distance. So he needs to be cut.
Yeah, coach's mistake after the first fumble to leave him in as a punt returner. Big mistake, costly mistake, lost him the game, unfortunately. Darius Slayton, I know his numbers don't really jump out, but he was important in this game. He had a lot of good plays, some good catches. But unfortunately, those turnovers were not enough. Giants couldn't move the ball very well. They did a good job slowing down Saquon. And good game for Seattle. Seattle looks like a strong team. I'm not going to lie. Defensively, they hunkered down, and offensively, Geno has been a huge, it's crazy, like how good he's been able to be.
Human Genome Project Smith, 212 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker III, 18 carries, 51 yards, a touchdown. Tyler Lockett, 5 catches, 63 yards, a touchdown. DK Metcalf, 6 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. The Birds continue to roll.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett could have had a way bigger game, but he had some dropped. Yeah. It's crazy. DK, he has a torn plantar tendon, whatever that thing is in your knee. He's out here playing the next week, man, scoring touchdowns. This guy is literally a superhuman. It's crazy. But Kenneth Walker did his thing, scored a touchdown. Seattle just keeps rolling, man. They beat a good Giants team.
Squad!
Are the Seahawks the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
Don't play with me.
Who is the biggest threat in the NFC to the
Don't
Eagles?
disrespect me looking like Pablo Escobar and Count Chocula on the party.
Don't ever disrespect me looking like a white Bobby Portis.
No, it's not the Seahawks. It's probably
Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota, Buccaneers.
No, we're not doing Buccaneers.
I'm telling you, they're going to turn it around. Maybe this 49ers.
Okay, I like that one better.
There's the Seahawks. I mean, maybe a regular season team, but I don't think they got what it takes to fight the Eagles.
What would the blind man say about it?
The blind man about the situation?
Yeah, about the NFC.
Ask me like you would ask a blind man.
Hey, what's up, man? Who do you think is the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC?
I see no evil.
What are you looking at then? What are you seeing over there, man?
What if you just spoke in like weird,
Like tongues?
wise words like, the Rolling Stone grows no moss. Those who wander aren't always lost.
I'd probably
You'd
just
be like, dude, just answer the question.
I'd probably walk away without saying anything. You wouldn't know I left.
Yeah, he just keeps talking.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Sunday night bonanza of a game.
Sure.
The Buffalo Bills 27, the Green Bay Packers 17. Aaron Rodgers 203 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Aaron Jones 20 carries, 143 yards. A.J. Dillon 10 carries, 54 yards. Romeo Dobbs 4 catches, 60 yards, a touchdown. Torrey a catch and a touchdown. They're struggling, but it's good to see Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I think that's a good 2-to-1 ratio. A.J. Dillon had a 27-yard run, and Aaron Jones was ripping off big ones all night.
Yeah, I mean they tried their best, man, to find out, the right game plan to take down the Bills, and aggressively running the ball, I think, was the right idea. Their defense played pretty good, holding the Bills to 27. But still, I mean, the Bills are just too much for the Packers. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah,
how
their
it goes.
defense looked pretty good. It was
They
promising.
did well. Yeah.
Josh Allen, 218 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Devin Singletary, 14 carries, 67 yards. Isaiah McKenzie had a touchdown rushing. Stephon Diggs, chirp on the Zaya Alexander bus. 6 catches, 108 yards, and a touchdown. Dawson Knox, touchdown. Gabriel Davis, 7 targets, 2 catches, 35 yards, got blanketed.
Yeah. I mean, in comes Naeem Hines.
Oh, gosh, that stinks.
Let's see, man. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh. Did you get those chills? Because it's spooky season on Monday night. Foosball. You sound like the singer for Korn.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
The Cleveland Browns, surprising, 32. The Cincinnati Bengals, 13. It wasn't a very close game. Joe Burrow, 232 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Joe Mixon, he's walking on sunshine. 8 carries, 27 yards. T. Higgins, 3 catches, 49 yards, a touchdown. Tyler Boyd, 3 catches, 38 yards, a touchdown. Let's go to the bell of the ball, though. Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. Jacoby Brissett, 278 yards, a touchdown. Amari Cooper at quarterback. 1 pass, 1 pick, because he stinks at quarterback. But, boy, that guy's got good route running skills. Nick Chubb, greater than Derrick Henry, the best running back in the game. 23 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, staying pat. 11 carries, 42 yards. Jacoby, wheels, rushing touchdown. Amari Cooper, 5 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, 4 catches, 81 yards. Kareem Hunt, 4 catches, 30 yards. This was surprising. The Bengals were hitting their stride. Jamar Chase out. I think that's a big part of their offense, a big reason why they got stomped on. Look out for Cleveland, especially when Deshaun Watson comes back. It could be pretty scary.
Oh, not Cosby.
Oh, dude, Cosby's coming back, and he's changed.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think the Browns can be very dangerous. I mean, just having Myles Garrett on that back end. I started Donovan Peoples-Jones in the league, if that's interesting.
Fascinating.
Yeah, he helped me win a game. Nick Chubb did his darn thing. I was wishing Kareem Hunt would get traded, but Amari Cooper did his thing. He threw one of the worst picks you could possibly throw right to the defender. The Bengals, very disappointing. Need Jamar Chase. A little concerned about Joe Mixon. But we're still smelling. It was interesting though, man. Both these teams had orange helmets, and if I was a quarterback, I would be disturbed. I'd be frightened because it was kind of hard to distinguish the two.
One has stripes and one is just brown orange.
No, but if you look, you'd be like, man, I'd be troubled. Halloween theme, orange on orange. Thought about it? You think they pre-planned that? I think they did.
Guarantee they did. Both orange teams, both scary.
And on Halloween.
How was your Halloween?
Planned program. Pretty good, man. I went to bed at like 7:30. No kids, no candy. I did eat candy within like the past week. It didn't make it to Halloween. I finished it off before then. Turned the lights off, made sure no kids came to the door, went to bed about 7:30.
That sounds like a good Halloween, man. Very low key, keeping to yourself.
I was hoping to watch the Astros. Unfortunately, it got postponed. How was your Halloween?
It was spooktacular.
You got into some festivities?
Yeah, I dressed up like a hot dog. Was hanging out, playing games, really enjoying the company I was with. It was an amazing time. One of the best Halloweens I've had. Sometimes I neglect Halloween as a holiday. I don't celebrate. But, when you're with people that really enjoy the season and the holiday and the time, it's a very good time to be together with the ones you love. It's incredible.
Yeah, man, that's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've never been a big Halloween guy either. I mean, as a kid, obviously that's something you love to do. But, as you grow up, you just, it's just Halloween. You know what I mean? Call me boring, call me stale, call me brown. I'm just not one that likes to dress up, get in a costume, go out, do the little club party stuff. The scene's not for me, man. And, if you have kids, unfortunately, you didn't get any candy from me.
If you were to dress up yesterday, what would you have dressed up as?
I think we mentioned it, and you really wanted me to dress up as him. And it was Dr. Steve Brule.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Steve Brule.
Character played by John C. Reilly. You guys should go check him out.
He's a character.
He is.
That would have been a great costume, honestly. I would have cracked up.
You tell me I look like him a lot. So I guess I could probably pull it off.
There's a couple times when you really channel him. Especially when your eyes are crossed.
I feel like I go on my own. I think another one I'd like to do is I don't know, man. I've been looking, man. A lot of people have had some really good costumes. Like, people are very creative, and I appreciate that. I really do. And I'm just not that creative, I guess.
I think there's a lot of Dahmer.
There was? Yeah, I don't really like that one as much. It's just not very creative.
Have you seen the new, how they have those blow-up costumes?
Like the alien and the sumo wrestler stuff?
Yeah, there's one new one with a clown doing a handstand.
Mm-hmm.
So your feet are where his hands are and your arms are where the feet are.
Okay.
So it looks like he's walking on his hands.
Ah.
And you can do cool stuff with his legs. At first I was like, that's stupid. But then when I saw people doing different stuff with his legs, I was amazing.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to get the alien kidnapping.
Yeah, that's the best one.
I would literally wear that probably at least twice a week, without it being Halloween.
Yeah, you definitely
I
would.
would actually wait hours to try to get you to believe that I'm being abducted by an alien. I'd be at the
Absolutely. You would take that role and run with it.
I'd be
sure.
like on the doorway with my hands on the door frame, and I'd wait for you to walk up the stairs and like start screaming, and you get a glimpse of the alien taking me, and then you'd be worried.
I think it would be funny if you like pursued it like you were an actor and you like
Like you went all
took
out,
it to the fullest, like in public and stuff.
like fake blood and screaming.
Yeah, it's a great costume, man, because your face is what like kid is supposed to be, and there's an alien blow up behind you, so it's like you're getting taken away, and you could be super creative.
That's
with
like a genius costume idea.
Yeah, it really is. It looks really good too. But yeah, hopefully I'm glad you had a good Halloween and got festive, and I hope you guys had a good Halloween as well.
I hope you had a great and beautiful Halloween. And we want to thank you for listening to another episode of Forget What You Heard. I hope you got some good information. We love you guys. Thanks for the support. As always, we love you guys and appreciate you guys. You guys have a great week. Peace, love, and happiness.
Cross-eyed Curtis.
I watch Signs and saw them. Cross-eyed Curtis.